Jeff King. I'm Andy Erickson, and this is not another shooting show. We go to Chico, California, where a man has been arrested in Chico after shooting himself in the hand. On Monday around 3 a.m., while responding to a 911 call for an area check of blah, 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 bunch of bullshit don't care about, Chico police officers heard the sound of a gunshot nearby. They were able to quickly find the man responsible for the sound, Cameron Perrin, who's 21, of Chico. He had a visible gunshot wound on his wrist. During the investigation, Perrin told the officers that when he saw them driving in the area, he tried to conceal a revolver in the back of his truck, dropped it, and shot himself in the hand. Chico police say that after receiving medical treatment for his injuries, he was booked into the Butte County Jail. He's facing charges of carrying a loaded firearm in a public place, willful discharge of a firearm in a grossly negligent manner, and my favorite charge lately, possession of metal knuckles.
Oh, interesting.
Metal knuckles, yeah. Are metal knuckles outlawed in Nebraska?
I think so, but I think from the cops I've talked to, is one of those, we'll book it if it's part of something else, but we'll not get you just for it.
Hey, Robert, are brass knuckles legal in Utah?
Oh, hell yeah. Dude.
Okay, good.
I mean, geez, you show up to Utah, and they, if you don't have a gun, they, give you one at the airport.
Yeah. By the way, Robert Wyatt joining us on the show this week. Thanks for doing it, Robert.
Absolutely.
I just wanted a guest, and I knew you were ezy. You're like a booty call.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Well, that was pretty overt. That wasn't me accidentally saying something. I just sort of, was right. I stuck it in your face.
Do you ever wonder, you read these things where people, they accidentally shoot them, stuff like that. And I've always had it in my head because it feels like when you're a 13-year-old kid and you do something wrong, and the first thing is ow, that hurt. And the second one is, can I hide this so I don't get in trouble? Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of convinced with some of these people, they go and they shoot themselves, and the first thought is just that, and then they're like, how do I convince the cops that it was some random drive-by or drug thing that I got wrapped up in and I'm totally innocent?
Well,
you just say there's some crack and a black dude, and boom, you're already on your way there.
that possibly could work. I don't know.
It never works. It only works for a couple of hours, and then they're like, wait a minute, you look stupid. I bet you did this to yourself, didn't you? And by the way, he did it with a revolver. Dropped it and shot himself with a revolver.
Yeah, how do you do that? I mean, unless it's like a Colt gun that you have, like the old the Colt single actions, and you actually have the firing pin sitting on the primer. This doesn't happen.
It's probably like a Charter Arms or one of the really, really shitty Ring of Fire revolvers.
Ring of Fire.
Yeah, so there's a group of pistols called Ring of Fire. They're normally associated with semi-autos. I don't remember if they have revolvers or not. But the other name for them is Saturday Night Specials. They're the Jamisons and the $89 guns that are only sold at pawn shops because even gun stores won't carry them.
Oh, I've got one of those. Some guy shot himself and killed himself with it.
You have a gun like that too?
A
buddy of mine has a Glock. It had one previous owner, one round fired.
No, that literally was it. It was this El Cheapo crap gun. And one of my coworkers, his wife passed away. He got remarried, and the lady he married, her brother, decided that he wasn't going to be with us anymore, and so he goes and he pops himself. And I don't know why, and I've never understood this, but for some reason the cops let him keep the gun as if it's a souvenir or something, in deepest remembrance of Bill.
Well,
I got nothing.
If they want it back, it's still just property. So,
I know, but of all the things in the world, it's hey, can I get that gun back?
Well, hey, pawn shop. Get some money for it. You don't have to. It's not like a house where you have to disclose that people died in it.
But isn't that the weird thing?
I mean,
it's
it would probably actually add value to say there's a body on it.
Well, I know it would add value because, think about it. Andy, he's sit there and he's been looking for a long time, and he finally found a Garand that possibly could have killed a German. right? And we kind of think that way because I mean, like
At
even
least the
I, like,
receiver, maybe.
yeah, I've got a December 1943 Garand, and I'm sitting talking to Adam, like, there's a good possibility that this might have killed somebody. Just saying. And we think that's awesome, and it's kind of morbid, but it is kind of awesome.
Well, my favorite, I have two buddies that collect Russian side of the wall, and they're like, oh yeah, my Tokarev pistols have probably killed more people than everyone else's collections combined. Just dissident after dissident.
That's
for sure.
You get an old one of those that you can actually trace the age of, and that probably has.
It's like, oh, this is from 1958 Romania. You're like, nothing good happened with this pistol. Nothing good.
Yeah.
What's the building where they executed all the people?
Oh, Fordovo prison.
No. It's in. I think it's in. Is it in Moscow?
Oh,
Lubyanka Square. I
know. I listen. No, I listened to a podcast talking about it.
Yeah,
but I cannot think
Cold
of the
War
name
podcast.
of it.
God, I can't think of it. Anyway, Robert, it happened after the fact. After I asked you to do the podcast, but you guys had a car at an indoor match out there,
dude.
How?
Well, everybody walked in, and we told them, like, hey, we're going to shoot out of this car, and they walk into the back and they see this car and they're like, how'd you get that in there? And me, being the upright individual that I am, I channeled my inner Johnny Cash, and I'm just like, one piece at a time, baby.
Hell yeah.
Right?
The MIT challenge.
Exactly. No.
Is there like a garage door in the range?
Yeah, it's super cool.
Cool.
So both ranges that we have, like we call it rifle and tack, and both of them actually have these 8-foot wide swinging doors that are like they're metal armor doors and everything like that, but they swing open. And that's actually how we access all of the basically underneath the backside of the bullet traps to bring in all of our equipment. But that means we can also bring in a small car. And that's exactly what we did. And it was so much fun.
That's
dude.
dope.
I mean,
I'm jealous. That'd be super fun.
People were just over the moon. I mean, I was talking to my buddy Adam Reiser about this, and he's like, yeah, people don't, like, in PCSL and 3-gun, we shoot out of these things all the time, so it's not really that cool. But in our sport, it just doesn't happen. We don't get to do that kind of fun, goofy, silly stuff like that. And so we did that, and man, like, it's the same kind of strange vibe as shooting the MP5. People just walk away with these big old grins on their face, and they're like, "Yeah, that was fun. It was just fun," and I love that. I absolutely love anytime you can walk away from a USPSA match and be like, "I had a fun time."
When we shot Area 3 together, the Sherwin's last Area 3, was there was a car stage, but were we in the car? I don't think we were.
No, we were shooting around it and on top of it, I think, something like that.
Oh, yeah.
What, am I thinking of the year before where the truck, you had to like move, the steering wheel moved what targets were covered up?
That was a few years before that, but yeah, because they had that prop at Zombies in the Heartland when I shot that one time, and I got whoever the range master was big mad at me because the stage briefing said you had to throw the fish had to go, you had to get the fish into the truck. So a lot of people would just like chuck the fish into the truck from like the start position where the wheel moving the trees was.
Yep.
And I chucked them. I don't think I chucked them from there, but when I threw them in as I went to get in it, they went out the back window. Like there was no back window. Like there were no windows in the thing. So I was like, well, they were in there. It didn't say they had to remain in there. You know, I was doing the USPSA thing. And,
right.
And it's Outlaw 3-gun, and the guy was not happy with me at all. And but
you know, the funny thing that this is actually a working car, and you could conceivably drive it off a lot. And one thing that we never actually thought about, and my buddy George actually brought it up. He's like, "What happens if those airbags deploy?" I'm like, "What do you mean? Nobody's going to hit it?" And he's like, "Yeah, but it could happen." And I'm like,
I never thought of that.
I never thought of that either. So we're at the last minute. We're sitting here trying to figure out how to keep the airbags from deploying, and we're like, oh, we'll just disconnect the battery. Well, apparently there's these capacitors that keep them charged up long enough that even if you do lose it, and so we had to let it die out over about an hour and a half, and they're like, yeah, we're probably safe,
Wild. Well,
but we're absolutely going to do it again. I think our next match we're gonna bring it back, and we're gonna do a low light stage. And so I know you guys love this. You're gonna have to use your weapon mounted lights. So sorry.
No, I love weapon mounted lights. I do.
Okay.
I just don't like them on carry guns because it's pointless.
Well, that's where they're going to be shown up on.
Well, no, I know, because it's like the whole weapon mounted light thing it's like Guess jeans in the 80s. It's an accessory. It's a thing you put on the thing. It's like guys who like racing stripes on their fucking Mustang or whatever. You know,
hey, you shut your whore mouth, man.
All they are.
I love me a good racing stripe on a V6 Mustang, baby.
Well,
nothing says white trash like that.
But for a like I get that like they're just like showing off their shit on the Glock subreddit. By the way, the Glock subreddit is the fucking worst one ever. I actually have a thing in the rundown for this because these fucking knuckleheads are just, it's so funny.
My holster actually has to have a weapon mounted light to work. It's a tier 1 concealment, and it's a neat one because if you have a TLR1, then just about any gun's going to work, right? But the problem is the Shadow 2 is a heavy frickin' gun, and you're just adding that much more weight. And so like all the matches up until like this next one, I'm basically just running like an empty TLR1 as a holder to even shoot the match. And people are like, well, why don't you shoot another gun? Because I don't want to. I like the Shadow 2. I think it's the best gun ever.
As far as the weapon mounted lights go, I like them when necessary. I don't like them if I don't need one. And like micro guns with lights, dumb, really dumb. And like, hey, can somebody tell me how to make my gun more comfortable? Because I got all this shit on it that makes it bigger and wider. And the holster looks like a fucking pancake. And it's digging into my leg. Take shit off your fucking gun. That's how you fix this problem.
But what if I need a laser designator to call in an airstrike?
Give me a laser designator.
Wait,
no, that attitude.
Hang on, Andy. Hang on. I think he's onto something here. I mean, I've played Call of Duty. I might need this. This could happen.
No.
What if I have AC-130 gunship overhead, dropping hate from the sky, and I need to mark off my position?
Yeah.
I like where this man is going.
Yeah. Oh God, it's just it. I don't.
The funny thing that people and you guys have run night matches. It is so funny to me how many people they've never shot in the dark when things are actually that dark. And so they have all these ideas in their head about, oh, I'm going to hold a light this way, or I'm going to do this, or I'll put it in my mouth. And then you actually do it and you're like, oh, that weapon mounted light actually washes the crap out of your red dot. It's completely gone.
No, I knew that. It was actually Jared listening to your show that he had talked about how, I have my dot on my work gun on full bright all the time because if I turn on my light, it's either daytime or it's dark and I need to see it because I have a light on. So it's just on full bright all the time. And
because he's directing traffic.
And right. But no, the first dark match we had, though, I put it all the way up, and I'm like, all the way up is probably going to be too much, so I backed it off like one or two, and then on the first stage, I could barely see that freaking thing. Yeah. And it was a little rough. Jeff, your off-season is over, but you're still an asshole.
Correct. I was finally, it was finally nice enough to go practice here in Omaha. It was 70 degrees today.
Yeah, it was awesome here, too.
And I got to train with Owen, who is my preferred training partner now, because he was willing to meet at 10 a.m. and tolerate me being 15 minutes late.
Of course.
A wizard arrives when a wizard plans to.
I thought you were a knight. I seem to remember the pictures of you being a knight.
technically I'm a man at arms, but
A man at arms?
It's his first time he couldn't be a knight yet.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would have had to go through a ceremony where they, swore to uphold King John and before the bishop. But
That was so damn awesome.
oh, it was so much fun, and there's still videos popping up. I just shared one before we started. The cinematography of these people is remarkable. The weapons, like up close, you know they're fake, but watching the videos, especially when they put just enough filter on it, it looks like we are marching with real weapons.
That's like the lightsabers. Like you have one of those, Robert, from Disney World or whatever. They look fucking real in a video or a photograph.
Oh, they're great.
They look so good.
It's so much fun. And you spend all that money, and then you get it, and then you go in your backyard and you play with it a little bit with your son, and then it goes in a closet and you never touch it again.
Money well spent.
Very sad.
So, Jeff, your off season's over. You practiced with Owen?
I did practice with Owen. I talked about this with Owen, so he knows I'm going to say it.
Oh, okay.
But I am an asshole, and when I practice with Steven or when I practice with Lane, I'm like, yeah, I'm not as good as these guys. Like, yeah, just do what you need to do. Yada yada. When I'm practicing with people who are like one class below me, I'm like, I need to go full send at all times to maintain my position.
To assert your dominance.
Bro, he had a double stack.
Lion comes out with his cock out, and he smacks the young lion in the face.
You just put that thing on the table and just make sure everyone knows about it.
Then he rubs his balls all over his mouth.
I was splitting I think the target had to be like 3 inches. It was an IPSC it was a double stack with a no shoot in between, and there must have been 3-4 inches on the top. I was splitting it with 13 splits.
And getting the hit?
Yes.
Of course you were in a practice.
Right. I was fucking the open targets, but that one I was just like gun to it, blue. And I one of the sequences, I tried to do this weird thing like shooting on the move. I think it's stupid, but I tried it. And Owen started with a conservative style where he'd take the top of it and then go to the bottom. I went bottom and rode it to the top as I was moving, and so it was like 17 split on the bottom, 17 transition to a 13-14 split, and I would have 2 alpha on the top target, and I would have like Alpha Charlie or 2 Charlie on the bottom. And I'm like, I remember Ben telling me this one time during one of his classes, and he goes, "You're shit at the easy stuff and you're really good at the hard stuff. I don't understand."
Yeah, and why is that?
All I can say is I don't fucking know, dude. Like, because we were doing the ladder drill, the stop go drill, and I was like taking a steal on 1 foot as I was pushing my way back to the start position, and he was like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, I don't know. It just when I get out of my own way. Joel made fun of me on a podcast one time because I said, like, I just use the force sometimes and it works. I don't have an explanation. The force, the midichlorians are just with me that day, and then other times they're not. Of course, I did like 4 runs where I was every run there was no split on a target below an 18 split, and I hit the steal every time. I was like, Owen, video this one. Fucking missed the steal. I was like,
that's when you put in the group chat on Instagram.
Yep.
Okay.
So, and I was in my asshole hoodie, which I bought a hoodie in Thailand, and it is sleeveless.
Sleeveless hoodie. Yeah. I noticed that immediately, and it bothered me a lot.
Right. I'm like, this is my douchebag look, and I am okay with it.
It is hardcore douche. Like, I love hoodies, and when I saw that, I was like, the fuck is that? Like, what are you doing?
Right. When my co-owner like held it up, and I was like, what the fuck? And then I threw it on. I'm like, I like this. And I feel ashamed that I like it, but I like it.
So, in the chat, Steven had said, hey, throw a rock at Owen every time he slides in. What I haven't shot with Owen in a long time. He's like like hits the brakes and slides on his feet into a spot? Is that what this is?
Yeah, or he'll kind of like between positions, he won't step. He'll kind of slide. And just like slide his foot across the gravel. He even said his daughter called him out on it. And so, excuse me. So yeah, that's I'll be honest. I was just happy to be there. I was not as prepared as I probably should have been for anything. But it was a good day. I was, lots of people on the range, lots of tactards.
Oh yeah.
Just all of the stupidity.
There were lots of people on my range today too. I was not one of them, but somebody managed to. The first report was that this father and son fired shots on the 100-yard range while a guy was downrange getting a target.
No.
Let's go.
But he did not. But he did admit that he was about to have his son fire a shot while the guy was walking back.
Eesh.
Oh,
So-
beautiful.
Yeah. So that would have been bad. Patreon.com/not another shooting show. It's only $3.57 a month. You'll get all of the second episode coming up later this week on Friday. That's when that comes out. We mentioned it earlier. Dark Match, April 11th at my club, Sioux River Sportsman's Club in Canton. If you search Dark Match on Practice Score, you will find that match. Registration is open now, as in now the day this episode comes out, Wednesday. It's not open now for you guys, but when it comes out, it will be out. r/NASS on Reddit. There's a Blue Bullets group buy going on there right now that my buddy Dan is running. MW Activewear, the finest jerseys for your match, and free logos. Adam Grimm class at my club, also April 24th and 25th. If you want to do that, get a hold of me. Northwoods, May 2nd and 3rd in Forest Lake, Minnesota. PCSL Belt Championship, May 17th at Mission 160. Great Plains has 2 slots last time I checked left. Cornhusker Classic, also pert near sold out if you want to shoot Saturday. Rushmore State Championship, slots available July 11th and 12th. And Minnesota section, August 29th and 30th at Forest Lake. There it is.
I gotta ask. I mean, because I haven't used them in forever, but like Blue Bullets, have they gotten to a point where they no longer make it look like you have a relationship with Papa Smurf when you use them? Because they used to get blue all over your hands if you ever tried to load those things.
Well, once upon a time, there was a time where that was the case, and then they started doing sort of a wash process that got rid of 80% of that. Like
okay.
If you did them by hand, they would leave behind a mark, but your whole hand wasn't blue. It wasn't like all this powder coming off.
Yeah.
And then during COVID, because production was insane, they quit doing the wash process, so they made them all blue again. And then sometime after COVID, they went back to doing it, and every one I've ever used since COVID has been pretty great. So, yeah.
It's very... Blue Bullets are such a unique bullet to me because I can be... I don't even have to see what you're shooting. I can smell a blue bullet being fired.
I've heard you say this before, and I don't think you know what you're talking about, Robert.
I think you're smelling the tight group.
I think I don't. I can't. Pistol powder, I can't smell the difference. Rifle powders, I can.
I absolutely can tell you when somebody's shooting a blue bullet. This smell is so damn distinctive. It's the craziest thing.
They're pretty popular around here, so odds are if you're at at Area 3, you were probably on a squad with a bunch of blue bullet shooters.
Maybe. Well, actually, I know
guessing.
Aaron had one. Aaron had it for sure. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you can smell that stuff. There's a guy locally who shoots it, and every time he shoots, that smell comes through. It's actually really bad at the indoor matches.
I really have no idea what you're talking about. I don't notice a smell from blue bullets.
That is weird.
I've never noticed it ever.
It's the clean living. See, it's the clean living. That's why I can smell everything.
Yeah, it's your lack of caffeine and booze.
That must be it.
Yeah. So, by the way, I was very glad you weren't offended by my Mormon joke last episode.
Oh, it was so awesome. It was the best.
I actually sent 2 text messages to people before that came out and said, it's just a joke, but they were both received well. I figured they would be. So, okay. I got a suppressor yesterday. Well, I didn't get it. I didn't receive it, but I purchased it yesterday. I got me a flow-through Huxworks Ventum 762 lefty friendly for sure when it comes to shooting on an AR. Because if you've ever shot an AR with a suppressor on it, especially if you're left-handed, it sucks balls. Robert, you're a lefty.
Yeah, I have two rifle suppressors, and I know exactly what you're talking about. The one for my 5.56 is actually okay. I have this other one that's an Amtech, which has a big, huge chamber inside of it. It says screws over the barrel, and so it reduces it a lot. But the OSS, they used to be called OSS. Now they're Huxwork. They work really, really well.
Mm-hmm. I'm
Yeah,
excited to get
really
it. Very,
nice.
very, very excited. I was mistaken. I thought my buddy Tyler had Huxworks on his Honey Badger, but it's not. It was a special suppressor designed for that gun to make it like no gas at all coming back in your face. It was amazing.
Yeah, I think the challenge with the flow through is they're a little bit louder. That's
I don't
but
compared to not.
But it's a rifle. It's a rifle.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean
who
and when
cares?
everybody gets wound up about, oh, it's still loud. Well, is it as loud as it was when it was not suppressed? Not even close.
Yeah.
And I don't give a shit what the numbers are. Like every dB meter is going to be different from one to the next. So I don't really care about what that is. Like, how does my ear hurt when it goes off? No? Okay, great. Does it? But with a rifle, supersonic rifle, it's still, my right ear hurts with just the bullet crack. So,
Will you put hearing protection on?
I typically still do.
I
at
do
the range.
too.
At the range, I absolutely do with rifles. Yes. If I owned a pistol suppressor and was shooting subs, I would not, because that's giggle fun.
Yeah, that's my exact experience too. Like,
Yeah.
I have the Omega 9K on my MP5, and that one I will freely, indoors or outdoors, I don't have an issue with it in the world. I'll run that thing without hearing protection. But anything that's got rifle behind it is, gosh, it just sucks.
Yeah. The only time I don't is if I'm hunting. Then I won't bother with ear protection, because that's kind of the whole point. Like for one shot, it'll be fine. But
Like
no,
with a suppressor?
No, I won't use hearing protection while hunting with a suppressor.
Oh, I got you.
Like if I'm hunting unsuppressed, like I will have earplugs in my bino harness, and if I have time, I will stick them in. Because my right ear is, I don't notice hearing loss. I notice some frequencies are missing ever so slightly, like when I'm wearing good headphones and editing stuff.
But isn't that you just getting older?
Well, it's that, but it also, loud noises hurt that ear that don't hurt my left ear. And
Got
that's
you.
the same as you. That's the ear closer to the muzzle. So
Yep.
yeah. So I'm super excited. I got it at Shields. This is not an ad. I'm just telling a story because a good buddy of mine who I work with had to go back to get re-fingerprinted because the machine was just not working. It was not working. He's like the guy like all the sales guys at Shields repeat the story of, the horror story, where his fingers just wouldn't work on the scanner machine. And
Wow.
right, I know, like why would that be? Well, he's the kind of guy that if he's, tearing apart a lawnmower or whatever and he's using brake cleaner, like he's not going to mess with gloves schmoves. Fuck that. Whatever chemicals I'm getting all over my hands. So my guess is he's got big giant sausage fingers and probably sprayed brake cleaner all over him, and there was no oil to leave behind a print, maybe. I don't know. But I guess I'm just good at rolling my fingers because I've done it a lot. I mean, I actually was thinking about how many times I've been fingerprinted, and it's got to be over a dozen.
Really?
At least.
Fucking criminal.
I got to get fingerprinted every time I retake my instructor class for the permit class I teach here in South Dakota. So that's every year and a half, 2 years. I'll get printed for that. Now suppressors is about it, but then I'm going to be a responsible person on my brother's FFL when he gets that. So I had to get fingerprinted for that. And then I got my EFT prints the other day, which I thought I was going to be able to skip fingerprinting when I went to Shields, but apparently not. And whether that was a store policy or software from the vendor that isn't possible to upload an EFT, I don't know. But I won't have to do it again at Shields if I buy a can there.
That was the thing that I always thought was because I remember I was asking you about that, and I was like, I always thought if you had those prints on file, you could just take them wherever.
No, I think it the way it sounded, and I don't know what I'm talking about here. I'm basing it off what the sales guy told me, was that based on their SOT, like they are basically the verifier of the identity to the prints.
I mean, yeah,
I'm the guy with the ID, the ID, and then I'm the fingerprints that got rolled onto the thing, so they're verifying that happened.
Yeah,
but the EFTs have already had that process, so I don't know. I
got to be honest with you. It's like, of all the gun laws, if I could remove one gun law like right now, I think suppressors would be my best, most like reasonably attainable one, because I just don't see the intrinsic need to have that on the NFA.
No. Jeff, what gun law would you change immediately? I'm thinking explosives is what I would like access to explosives when I got a pesky stump in my yard.
I just want I don't want anyone else to have access to explosives.
I don't want to have any gun laws for me. Yeah. For the rest of you people, screw y'all.
Fine. Yeah.
Yes, 100%. I've long stood on this. I'm willing to kill on this hill that if you put in enough work, you shouldn't have laws apply to you. It's everybody else that's a fucking problem. The NFA is the easiest one to say, just because, and I don't know if we've ever gone over, but the NFA. No one knows why the suppressor got added. They think it might be due to poaching, but there's actually no conversation about it. It just ended up in the final bill. And the short-barreled rifles and shotguns were on there because they were going to ban pistols, and then they removed the ban for pistols, and then they were like, we'll just leave those in there. And you're like, wait, what? And
the short-barreled rifles and shotguns was like a loophole cover for pistols.
Right. And
which
so,
is, yeah.
But
they got that because they said it was a tax.
Right. Well, and my biggest issue is that I can't use short-barreled rifles. And so as much as I want to, I don't.
Like a 16 inch is a short-barreled rifle for Jeff?
Correct.
Mm-hmm. So, I'm super excited. Wait times are, what he said he's heard lately, is 6 days to 2 weeks. So... shorter than my Form 1.
Did you do trust or
I just did individual for this. I can deal with that later.
Yeah.
Because if I do the trust, it's not even really a trust until it's like a trust. Like when I actually get a lawyer involved. So,
yeah.
So I figure I can, and now that there's no cost for the tax stamp, I can just do that later. So I said, fuck it.
I think mine took 2 weeks to get back. And I legitimately thought it was going to take a year.
Yeah, it sounds like 2 weeks is about the max right now.
I have to say, I mean, the fact, and I don't take the politics out of it, right? The fact that somebody actually got into the ATF and said we need to solve this problem, and then they did, it makes the $200 stamp is cool. I like that, but I mean, it makes that whole process less onerous, because everybody knows somebody who was trying to get a stamp when it was 400 days, 300 days. And you're like, this sucks.
Mine was 20 months because I get resubmitted after 9 months. So I got 20 months. Yay. Okay. Jeff posted an Ask Us Anything on our Reddit that I almost used in the last episode, but I wasn't supposed to. So... do you have it up? I don't have it up, Jeff.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So Gundork said in a recent episode, you said, maybe everyone shouldn't have a gun. We were just talking about this. Was a comment. What was your first mind-changing experience in this? So have you guys ever been on that side of the fence?
Yes.
I guess I've never not been on that side of the fence. I have always thought there are people who should not have guns. Violent felons comes to mind.
That's an interesting question, though, right? Because and Steve Koski and I have had this conversation once. If you go to jail and you serve your time to the crown and all that sort of thing, and you come out, what other constitutional rights do you no longer have access to?
Voting.
Some voting, things like that, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, like, why is it that you've served your time, you've done it, and assuming this, it's so nuanced, right? It sucks. But at a certain point, your ability to defend yourself is kind of a fundamental right that we have.
Well, no. You still have the right to defend yourself. You just don't have the right to own a firearm.
A modern firearm, because you can't own black powder, which is hilarious.
So I don't really. Don't be a felon.
I mean,
like that story we were talking about with the Supreme Court case in the last episode, Jeff, or 2 episodes ago.
Well, until your existence is made a felony, is the grand conundrum of it, and that's where so like for me, my first mind changing experience with this was the Aurora, Colorado shooting. So I was going to be moving to Aurora, I think, that year.
I used to live like 3 miles from where that theater was.
Yeah. And so I had a DPMS 16-inch M4 clone AR with a carry handle and, no M-lock or any attachment points, just thick, just plastic circle on barrel.
Handguard. Yes.
And I sold that because I was like, okay, I don't like this. And
really?
So that, yep. And then I've gone back and forth on it. I can, like I said on that I think it was the last episode, I can argue any gun position, whether it's pro or against in your mind, I can argue it. And so, that was kind of my first one. The one that kind of solidified it was working at a gun range.
Yes. It solidified it for me when I started teaching people too.
Yep. Nothing will convince you that people should not own guns, like working with the public at a public gun range. The stupidity, the quick little one is our owner was at the front desk showing off his Zev Glock of some sort. It was in like a Pelican case and, it was sitting in the foam, so it was not being handled. Dude walks out, he goes, I have one of those, draws his fucking CCW, and they pin his arm. And they were like, hey, homie, if you want to show this off, let's go back in the range. We'll unload it and blah, blah, blah. But yeah.
I had a guy come out one time and he walks out of the gun range and he's got this Glock pistol in his hand. He walks up to the front, he walks up to the gun counter, points the gun right at my chest and he says, this gun's not working. And I'm just like, is that loaded? He looks at me, looks at the gun, he points the gun, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like,
I'm sorry.
Somebody's going to be sorry.
I tried to walk on the elevator before I let you off. Oh, I'm sorry. Jesus, that's...
Holy... That's the hard thing is it's a loaded term. I'm kind of a Second Amendment absolutist in a way because I don't... If you haven't done anything wrong, you should have that right. But like Jeff, I've worked at a gun range before, and there's a lot of people. I'm like, it's your right, but maybe you just should take up Parcheesi.
Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, my controversial statement is pretty much most of the First Amendment ones. I'd be like, I can argue that there's some people who probably shouldn't say some certain things or do some certain things. But it is I always, whenever I'm explaining this to someone, I always go with the drunken uncle, because we all have that dumb uncle that, jumps four-wheelers off of hastily made ramps and all that dumb shit. You're like, cool. He has an RPG in an apartment building. Do you feel safe? You're like, no. And you're like, cool. That's my go by.
Yeah.
So
it's the nuance, right? I mean, it's right. Everything in life is the nuance where you're struggling with this. It's not my place to take this away from somebody, but I can craft a lot of situations where you and I can reasonably sit down and be like, yeah, that uncle shouldn't have the RPG.
Right, but on the flip side, again, I'm not trying to be controversial with anything, but I think Kansas invalidated all trans people's driver's licenses last month, something like that. And it's they did it just like, oh yeah, all y'all's identification papers don't work anymore. And you're like, wait, what? Like, that's a problem. So the inability to access firearms, they now can't because their government issued ID is not valid anymore. And so you're like, whoa, that's not cool.
Whoa.
So there's nuance, there's conversation. It's not as easy as most people want it to be because, do I watch cops do bad things and go, I wonder if they'd act the same if every time they showed up to a call, someone might AT4 their vehicle. I don't know.
I just need that on video just once. Right. I just need to see that happen.
Right. It's like, but then you get like the Mexican cartel shit where you're like, they're too well armed. The federal police basically have to have full on like, hey, we showed up with tanks to try to arrest one guy. We killed one person and the entire country burned down for a week. And you're like, okay, maybe there's a top end to this. We're gonna pop to the next part of the question because he technically asked 4 questions. What is your Mount Rushmore of guns? Funds unlimited and open guns are for the elderly unless you just want one. So what's your top 4 guns for you?
Well, Mount Rushmore of guns, I guess to me that would be sort of the the like whatever.
Well, right. We have to put the criteria. Is it the Mount Rushmore of guns for the entire gun industry and history?
It's like, okay, they put for not founding fathers, but a couple of them were, but
the most important guns to the gun industry.
Yeah,
but
I think.
Then the way he phrased it, he said funds are unlimited. So it's almost
that doesn't matter. To me, that's irrelevant. I don't need that as a caveat to the question.
Well, that made me think that he's trying to say, what are your 4 like top guns?
Oh, your Mount Rushmore. Okay, top 4 guns. Okay.
So
a Glock, whatever, doesn't matter.
Glock 18.
Sure. An M1. I would say the M2 Browning machine gun. Any military firearm that's been around for over 100 years is probably pretty good. And then for a 4th one, I don't know. Probably the AR-15. Like, I'm not going to narrow it down to like, the primary weapon systems, the cock ring is the greatest AR ever made. I don't. They're all the same. They're all not more than.
I want the belt buckle
different.
gun from Dusk to Dawn. Can I have that?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'm going to the head of each of those lines and say like the OG AR-15, or M16, whatever you want to go with, M1. Ma Deuce, and Glock. But mine, I tend to be potato.
Yes, you are.
Okay, go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, P90, because, of course. M240, because belt fed. I need to make my technical. Shadow 2, because you're asking my Mount Rushmore guns. Like, I love the Shadow 2. And then, this is where... like narrowing it down
the M&P 10.
No, that'll come up later. I think the Smith & Wesson R8 revolver. Like, okay. I love that thing. I think it's the dumbest thing on the planet, but I want one.
That's that tactical one, right?
Yeah. You can put a red dot and a light, and it has 8 rounds of 357 Magnum.
I was listening to an old episode of the Hornady podcast. They were talking to some old engineer guy about I think it was the 5.7 by 28. Is that the name of that? I know it's the 5.7. Yep. Is it by 28? Is that the cartridge name?
Yeah.
They were talking about how they had to make it work because they already had this gun design, and now we got to make the cartridge work. And then for reloading, it's a pain in the dick. Why is it a pain in the dick? Well, because if they're newly manufactured cartridges, they're bottleneck cases, but they have no taper. They are straight wall on the sides because they have to fit in a very straight magazine, no curl. And so people who will try to reload that cartridge, a lot of the reloading dies have a taper because if you want to remove brass from a die, it has to have a little bit of a taper for it to work. So then they get all these issues and whatnot. And I just found that sort of fascinating because I didn't know that was a thing, and it's a pain in the ass. That's why that ammo's so expensive, because it's a fucking pain in the ass to make. So
I just hate sorting that crap out when I have to go and sort all the brass that I pick up from the range.
I know. It's funny how I'll think that's a spent 17 HMR case. And I'm like, oh, it's a 5.7 case. Cute. Okay. Robert, what would be your Mount Rushmore of guns?
We're going total German here, basically. The MP5 SD.
Fair.
I like that gun. It's a neat gun, and it'd be fun to own one. I have to agree with Jeff. I love the Shadow 2. I've been shooting that gun since 2017, so I obviously like the gun a lot. I was able to hold, and I always mess up the name, but it's an MG42.
Oh yeah, the MG3.
Is it MG3? Yes, I can never remember. But I was over at one of the FFL's house, and it was a transferable one, and I was like, oh, this is cool, and it's just a vibe. Super cool gun. I kind of would like to have one of those.
Oh, and like a 7.62 MG42, basically.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's fun.
It was a neat gun, and then the Sturmgewehr.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That it's just kind of
that's like my favorite pickup gun in Call of Duty.
Yeah, it's a very unique point in history where things just kind of came together, and it's always just had that little special place in my heart. And like Palmetto State Armory said, hey, we're going to build this thing, and I was over the moon.
And then they never made it.
And then they never made it. But you know what? They also said they were going to make an MP5, and then COVID hit, and then they didn't. And so
didn't somebody make a
there were like
44?
Well, so there's like four or five companies that have made them, and all of them are shit. And
yeah.
one of the arguments I've heard from Ian is that maybe they were just a really shit design, but the Germans, only made them for like 2 or 3 years. So
yeah.
they just made enough of, like, they had a 30% failure rate, like from the factory. They would
even the World War II ones.
Yes, in World War II, 30% would not pass quality control and just be thrown out. And
but that's basically everything German, where it works most of the time. I mean,
right.
like even the tanks. I mean, like the Panthers and stuff like that. They were designed so efficiently, and they could win every battle, except for the reliability one.
They had a hard time starting the engine. Yeah.
The most important one of the battles. I mean, it is funny. They're like, hey, we built this tank that consumes transmissions. We built one extra transmission for it, and you're like,
yeah,
okay, that's a vibe. Okay,
yeah.
Last question on this guy's question. Has competition shooting ruined gun movies for you?
No.
Yes.
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 I cannot watch, like, I am the actually guy going, you wouldn't do that. That's terrible. They're good as shit.
Yes.
Like,
you two need to grow up. Jesus Christ. You haven't gotten over this? Like, I used to be that way. And then I'm like, oh, nobody likes that person when you're like that. So I'm not going to be like that anymore. I'll just sort of to myself giggle like, oh,
I
the
mainly
safety's on that Beretta and it's firing. That's cute.
I mainly do it to myself, but I do have to pick out internally I pick out, you can't make a headshot at 25 yards with a J-frame revolver 3 times in a row, Carol.
And I count the rounds.
Yep.
I can't not do it. Here's the thing, Andy. You're right. You're totally right? But at the same time, I sit there, and if a movie is good, if like it's really good, the suspension of disbelief is cool, and you can totally do it. It's when you come back and you watch and you're like, wait a darn minute, that's when it kind of gets to you. But if it's a really great movie, who gives a crap? It's just fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and it's also like when you hear a Glock cock its hammer, and you're like, no, stop doing that.
Yeah.
When someone raises a Glock, I saw that in The Walking Dead recently. Like, you lift a Glock and there's like there's a movement and it's rattling.
All of the clicking and rattling.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always appreciated that. And it's like we have come so far. Like, we can do all these green screens and like all this stuff with movies. Why haven't we solved the sound effects guy?
Right.
It's like, come on, guys.
Well,
Go to Terry Butler.
But
He'll
for the
show
other
you.
99% of people who don't know, it works.
Well,
It sounds cool.
They've been using the Wilhelm scream since like the
Yes.
30s.
What's the Wilhelm scream?
You know it.
I'm
know
sure I
when you
do,
hear
but
it.
I don't know what it is.
It's kind of it's when you see somebody that's falling off a building. It's that same classic that kind of sound that comes through. It's called the Wilhelm scream, and it was done in the early 19. What were you saying, Jeff? 20s or 30s or something like that?
20s or 30s sometime, yeah.
Here's the thing, though, Andy. Like you and like we, because like this is what we're interested in. We like this, but it's the Gelman amnesia theory that's in our little area, and that whole concept absolutely applies because we know what we're looking for in guns. Whereas if somebody is, say, a weather forecaster and they watch Twister, they're going to have that same level of like, wait a damn minute there.
No, you don't have to be a weather forecaster and think Twister's retarded.
I
can just watch it and know it's retarded. Like,
I don't watch movies. I'm trying to pull shit out of my ass.
Well. They strap themselves to a well, and the tornado comes by, and they stay still while all the shit flies by them, but none of it hits them.
Correct.
Exactly.
All right. Jumping.
We got cows.
We got cows. That's a classic.
Classic line.
We
It's
already
fucking
answered
Tuesday.
We already answered Austin's question.
Okay.
Hot Odago says, "Is there a betting pool for how much more bullying it will take to make Austin buy an optic?"
There's no pool, but I think if I had to bet, I would go with sometime before the end of 2027. He will purchase an optic that is not a piece of shit.
Well,
Or he'll win one, and then all of a sudden, I shoot limited optics now.
so there's a cheat answer to this. He actually has an optic,
Oh, okay.
but he will. I think he mounted it, or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he borrowed.
He'd
it
have
from
to pay
Steven.
money to mount it on his Shadow 2.
Right, but I think he did the dovetail mount and tried it and was like, I don't like this, and went back to
Yeah, because
production.
it's terrible.
Well, it's
Just send it to
terrible.
Vince. Spend a little money, Austin. Jesus.
I think he will be lonely being the only production shooter.
Yeah.
Period. Second question: best topping for burger, and why is it sautéed mushroom and Swiss?
An egg. Over
Fried
medium
egg, solid.
Yep.
A barbecue burger is always delicious. You're talking to a 300-pound dude. Like, there's not a burger on this planet I probably won't at least try.
Oklahoma fried onion burger.
Oh, you were telling me about that in Rapid. What is the deal with those?
It's you take onions and you put them down on the grill and you smash the patty into it. It's kind of a smash burger style, and it cooks the combination of the onions cooking up and charring up a little bit, and that beef patty. Damn it, dude! It's just awesome. And then
Onions are so good.
You put that on the bun, like a good toasted bun. I like mustard on it, but just great combination. Super
Good burgers.
tasty.
I don't put ketchup or mustard on good burgers anymore. There was holy shit. The downtown Sioux Falls has a burger battle every year, and it has grown to obscene proportions now. There were fucking 50 restaurants downtown that were doing it, which the weird thing is that there's 50 restaurants downtown Sioux Falls. Some of them are bars that serve food, but yeah. And we ate at the one that won it, and holy shit, is this like the finest burger I've ever had in my life. It was from a restaurant called Swamp Daddy's Cajun, and there was some sort of sauce. It almost tasted like maple syrup, like real maple syrup, but I can't remember what it was, but that was the best burger I've ever had in my life, and it wasn't close.
Here's what you do. Whenever you make a burger, go and take and dice up onions. Dice up onions is really good. And then put them into a pan, get them cooking a little bit, and then put a little bit of maple syrup and some brown sugar in there.
Oh, you're talking my language. That sounds amazing.
Freaking amazing. You cook it down until it's not caramelized, right? But it's starting to get into that kind of that gooey, and then put that on there. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I freaking love burgers.
Right. It's hard to fuck up a burger.
Yeah.
It really is. Although apparently the McDonald's CEO figured it out.
Oh, God. That's been such a
Dude,
weird
I ate at
thing.
McDonald's the other day, and I regretted it immediately. The outside of a breakfast sandwich, which their breakfast sandwiches are amazing, I had chicken nuggets, and when I got done eating them, we were out treating roads because it got icy. I was just like, why did I do this? Why did I do this?
Decisions were made. They were bad ones.
I could have gone to Burger King, but the parking lot was full. But so I had to go to McDonald's in my plow truck, and I should have just starved and waited and ate anything else. It was awful. Okay, next question, Jeff.
MKE Dub says, also betting pool for how long it takes for the Band of Brothers watch party to happen.
I'm guessing we'll get that in before the end of 2028.
Good start.
Yeah.
Okay, so here from Remarkable Aside, you and Andy have to fight according to German medieval divorce duel rules, where I fight from a hole with one arm tied. Who wins that fight?
If it's a fight involving me and Jeff, I'm betting on Jeff every time and twice on Tuesdays.
So I think
it's fucking Tuesday.
That's all I have to say about that.
I get a club, I think.
By the way, that question had a whole big long back and forth that I don't care to go into, but if it involves a fight with me and Jeff, Jeff's winning. He's about to do it at an arena in Omaha.
April
I'm
17th.
going.
Woo, woo.
I already got a hold of Michelle. She's getting me a ticket so I can sit with people I know. And I'll be there, buddy.
Hell yeah.
Don't fuck it up.
Now I have visions of Jeff in a hole, like swinging a mace at anybody that tries to come at him.
That's fair. I subscribe to that. If we could have anyone on the podcast, who would it be? I mean, for me, Barack Obama.
For me, James Hetfield. He likes to hunt. He likes to shoot. I think it'd be super fun.
Yeah, if I could have anyone, like I'm going with fucking the former president of the United States. I've never talked to one of those before.
I've talked to an almost former president of the United States before.
Yeah.
If you're gonna lose an election to Donald Trump, and you're gonna name a book about what went wrong, the best thing to do is not immediately put your name after the title "What Happened, Hillary Clinton." Is probably not the way to title that book. But
do you think it bothers Donald Trump that he's never actually won an election against a man?
I mean, I have many jokes.
But yeah, that's funny. Okay,
it's a slow burn. I apologize.
No,
it's a solid one. It is.
Forget to tip your waiter.
Yeah. That was a newsy thing we never mentioned was my former governor got fired this week.
Dude, was that not like about time? Holy crap.
Yeah. No, Barbie's overstayed her welcome everywhere. Everybody, people I know were like, I just hope she doesn't come back here. I hope she doesn't come back here. And of course they give her some dumbass position or whatever. They're still going to pay her to stay in Washington. Fine.
Do you think that was just one of those things to not fire her but fire her kind of thing? Is that how that goes?
Yes, because
she was fired, but to try to help her save Artificial Face, they found her a new job.
She's still a loyalist, and Trump loves loyalists, and so
she just fucked up when she said, "Oh yeah, he knew about that $200 million campaign ad." God, she loves herself and loves to put herself in commercials. We had this ad campaign. Do you guys remember the meth? We're on it. It went viral. This was the Department of Public Health in South Dakota, and it was forced down their throat by the Nome administration in about 2018 or 19. And it was, it was supposed to, it's tongue in cheek, meth, we're on it. Like, we're on top of it, but the double entendre of we're on meth. And it was immediately the butt of every joke all across the country. And I actually was messaging with a friend who used to work in a gun shop, and she worked for an ad agency who actually helped work on that campaign. And they were told by everyone in the governor's office to shut the fuck up and do it.
Oh, wow.
Even though they had 6 focus groups, and all the focus groups were like, we don't get it.
Yeah.
It's like, the whole state's on meth? What? Just Google meth, we're on it, and you will see it tied to South Dakota and Christine. Okay, next question.
So MKE Dubs asked his own question. If you're trying to put on the most fun match you could, safely, but regardless of USPSA rules, what ideas do you have that you'd want to try?
Ooh.
I want a tank.
Ooh.
Like, you said,
Do we get to fire the tank?
Electronic targets of some type. And when I say electronic, I mean like mechanical. I mentioned it. We sort of had one at the last dark match, where you knocked down a popper and it actually shut off lights.
yes.
Obviously, for most matches, it's not in the dark, but some sort of electronic or motorized thing that gets activated. That would... I would love to see something like that. All the props we use are gravity. They run on gravity. And it's simple. You know, it's reliable because gravity's constant and there's fewer moving parts involved. But I don't know. A propeller with targets on it, I think sounds really fun.
I would... The stages would be short. They would be cinematic. We would have drones to get all of the looks. There would be tanks somewhere. I want to do. I'm going to stop right there. I would love to do a trench run. I think that would be hilarious fun.
I have a
That
thing
was
to add
fun.
on.
I've done that.
With the sort of the air cannons with debris, like if you've ever seen the Band of Brothers, like they get reloaded and fired off as you pass a certain point. A laser activates them, and boom, boom. Yes, I am here for it, Jeff. That sounds
Right.
amazing.
So,
If you
like,
don't go home with PTSD, then you didn't shoot the match.
Right. So if we could do like Breakcore Manor, like just running through those trenches, like smoking targets.
Yes.
So trench system, a shoot house, a tank of some sort. Let's see.
Fire a mortar. You got to fire a mortar.
Ooh, a stage where you have to light off like 50 rounds from a belt fed to like drop the Green Ivan targets that the military uses.
What's a Green Ivan target? I don't know that term.
It's what they use on their qual
it's
ranges.
the targets that the Army uses. You'll
You
see
shoot
it.
them, they fall down.
Oh, okay. They're like a Weeble Wobble looking thing.
Right. But like, let me shoot a belt fed at them. And
Yeah.
also a grenade launcher. Let me shoot an M203. Yeah, again, I'm trying to replicate military service without actually serving in the military because, you know, I'd punch a drill sergeant. But yes, that would be the most fun. Also, all of the targets are like self-resetting, or like there's enough crew that resets it that I don't have to be part of the reset crew.
You mean staff reset match?
Yes.
Okay. Wow, that's really novel, Jeff. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yes.
Okay, Robert, what would you throw in a match?
The funny thing is, like everything, Jeff, you're talking about, SUPs, before they changed their bays, they did all that stuff. They had trench runs. They had a trench run. You could, at the Red October, you could shoot the RPK or the PPK or whatever.
Yep.
They gave you like 10 rounds to cook off. You got to fire. There was one where you got to fire a mortar. It was good times. My favorite, and I desperately want to go be able to do this again. I would like to shoot a stage from a parachute. It doesn't have to be a real one, right? But like, you're swinging in a parachute, and in the activation process of the stage, you have movers that are like bringing the dogs across the stage and the bad guy. It was so much fun. It was the best stage in the entire world. I will say, nowhere in any of that is I don't ever want to shoot any of Sherwin's stages again.
Well, none of them. So, did they have that was the crazy steel swinger year when you were there, right, Robert?
I definitely don't want that one again. That was the
stupid.
stage. Oh gosh! Like it was this.
Like if you took two mics, that was pretty good. I remember Shane Coley walking off because they were. I don't know if they were just ahead of us or if I just happened to be there after he shot it, but he comes walking off going, 2 mics, not bad. Like think he was happy with it?
that was the stage. So when I do my new shooter match, I always tell people, when it's your turn, get up. They say make ready, put the magazine in, rack the slide. If you have a dot, check to make sure the dot's turned on. And I always say, ask me how I know. That was the stage how I know, because the guy's like, make ready, put the bullets in the gun. Timer goes off, and I go and I start to draw on the first target. And I'm like, where's the dot? Oh shit! And then I'm like sitting there trying to like run around the stage, turn this stupid dot on. Meanwhile, this stupid swinger is like going everywhere. Yeah, horrible stage. Why would we ever think that was a good idea, Sherwin?
It was his last hurrah.
I know, and that's why we went.
Yeah. Okay, next question, Jeff.
So, if you go back in history, where would you go and why?
Ooh. Oh, God. I didn't see that question beforehand. I kind of pre-read all these after they went up, but I don't remember that one. If I had to, like, I'm gonna just assume I'm there as an observer, not a participant. I still, the D-Day landing in Normandy is like one of the most wild things that's ever happened on the planet. To be able to stand there and watch as like a journalist and see all that would have been fucking wild. I mean, plus I've mentioned how I listened to the radio recording that's like 5 some hours long of the first reports of the D-Day invasion. It's super nerdy, but like, yeah, that's probably it for me.
For me, I'm either going with the Battle of Eylau, which was one of the largest cavalry charges in the Napoleonic Wars, or there's a part of me that would want to go back and see like a Roman battle, just because I find that fascinating, like the Battle of Cannae. Yes, I'm that level of nerd.
I don't know what you both have said. Shit I've never heard in my life tonight. Like, what was the theorem? The Gelman
amnesia theory. You've never heard of that?
No.
This is cool.
Why
this
would
is
I?
So,
I don't
dude,
care. We're doing Ask Anything.
God damn it! Just shut up and
No.
listen. This is the coolest thing ever.
No. I don't care. I'll Google it later. Next question.
He's not going to Google it later.
No, I'm not. I already Googled it.
It's
what is
awesome.
And for some reason, there's a guy who looks like Ted Nugent next to it.
What's the angriest you've ever been at a match?
Probably the same match you were really angry at, Jeff. Cornhusker, like 3 years ago.
I think I was angrier.
Oh, wait, no. Nationals in 21 when the guy started screaming, "We need a white paster."
Oh, yeah.
The asshole I didn't know. What a douche of a human that guy was.
For me, it would have been Hopkins Area 3, Stage 1. I missed like 7 passes of the swinging steel. Like, that's why I hate them so much. Like, Michelle came up.
I thought it was going to be the Mock Jesus one.
No, I don't actually fucking care about that one, if I'm honest. I just like to bother Andy. But I fucked that one so hard that like Michelle tried to be wonderful and be like, "Hey," and I was like, "I'm gonna go to the parking lot and scream for a minute. I'll be back." And
the parking lot's conveniently closed at Grand Island. Also,
it is. So it'd probably either be that one. Maybe a 3-gun match, but like I don't. I just assume that it would make me angry, but I don't have any specific event that.
Cornhusker 2024, Jeff. We both threw mags.
I did throw a mag on that one. That one made me unhappy. What about you, Robert? When were you angry?
Ironically, it's the same person. It was the last nationals that subs had before it went and changed. It was the Iron Sight Nationals, and I got on the squad, and there was this guy on the squad who was a local to St. George, and we shot the entire match, and he called for the range master. He pulled targets on if there's 18 stages, he pulled targets on 15 of them.
Oh, God.
Jesus.
And it towards the end, it he had them pull the target, and he did it because at that point Troy was just like, he rolls up and he sees him, and he's just like, oh fuck, here we go again. And I just remember being just seething, and it was like the last stage of the match, and I started out, I shot this swinger, and then I go through and I finish and unload, show, clear, and then they're like, hey Rob, do you want to come over and look at this? It was on the swinger, and do you want to have him overlay this? It was a Charlie Mike, and I was like, and I looked over at John and I'm like, no, if I get a mic, I take it like a fucking man.
Oh.
I have never been that mad in my entire life. I was just like, and then it made it worse because, what was it, 4 years later, I got stuck on a squad with the same guy, and nothing had changed.
I wouldn't. Did anybody say anything? Like, I wouldn't have been able to keep my mouth shut. I'd be like, take a mic.
Oh,
don't be an asshole. Just take the mic.
At the end of it, everybody on the squad was just,
we all hate you. Stop it.
Yeah, like daggers from your eyes kind of filling, and like to this day, I mean all the guys on the squad still talk about it, and like, yeah, they're like, we will never squad with him again.
Oh, okay. Next question, Jeff.
Okay, so Mountain Speaker asked us how we felt about the marijuana disqualification case. We kind of talked about that last week.
Oh yeah, we did. Okay. Oh, the next one. Let me read it because this you should not read this. Okay. This is from my buddy Bert. It's not Jeff's dick. He may say it's big at the end of the day. If you put an F-150 next to a skyscraper, it still looks small. Not really a question, but a valid statement.
It's fair.
Okey-dokey.
It's fair. Well, and I never claimed it was big. There was a very funny meme that was like, Gen X jokes about it being big, millennials joke about it being small. There's something about us that is just different.
I just like saying Jeff has a tiny penis because there's no way it is. But anyway,
my answer to Austin is I've never had any complaints.
Oh, that was Bert.
No, Austin commented below and he said, I really want to see it purely for academic reasons.
Oh, okay.
Final question from Austin. What's worse, DQ first or last stage?
First.
Robert?
I've done both. Well, I don't know, because I was really tired, and so like you DQ first, it was like, deuces, I'm out, I'm going home. But if you DQ at the end, you did get to shoot the entire match.
Yeah.
You just don't get a score for it.
Right.
I'd rather shoot and have no score and DQ on the last stage than go. I mean, I'm also thinking worst case scenario, like this is at a major. I spent money to get here. And if it's a club match, but yeah, I kind of, you've changed my mind on club match. First would be better. But
yeah, no, if you spent, gosh darn it, I've seen that happen where some poor dude, he shows up, it's like he shows up to a major like Utah State, and he's like the first person up on the squad. This actually happened to me. Guy, first person up on the stage, first stage of the day, draws the gun, he fires the first target, and he goes to go around a barrel, and in the process points the gun up range. Guy's done. I mean, he got basically 2 shots off and went home. And you're like, oh, dude, I'm so sorry. I felt worse for that guy. I mean, I'm sure he felt bad, but I felt so bad for that poor dude because he just burned all that money for nothing.
I've seen several people that for some reason their first match was a level 2 and DQ on the first stage. And it's like, oof, that's not a good introduction to the sport.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. At least when you DQ at the end of the day, you've hung out with your boys. I'd prefer to DQ, 6 out of 10 stages. That way I'm like, okay, I got my shit in, but I'm not tired. Like I'll just go back to the hotel or take all my shit off. And, but yeah, I don't know. I think I agree with you guys that if I got to a major and spend all the money on all the things, I'd at least want to shoot the stages and then DQ, because at least I've looked at my scores throughout the day and I have a general idea of where I would have finished.
That's when you like before you hit the approve on the DQ, you open up competitor and you start screenshotting everything so that at least you have something to reference afterwards.
Correct. 100%. But I've only DQ'd once, and it was at a charity match, so knock on motherfucking wood.
I've never DQ'd. There's been a couple times I should have been DQ'd, but no one saw me when I pulled the pistol out of my holster walking a stage. So
yep. I've been DQ'd a lot. Let's 1, 2, 3, 4.
What are
four or
most
five
of
times.
them? 180s?
The first one was a 180. The second one was straight. It was a straight ND, like gun or bullet out of the range, bad. The others were 180s, trying to come around things. That's and then I had one where this is I remember Wyatt. He's like, if he said it like this: if finish, unload, so clear, if clear, hammer in a holster, that fast, just boom, boom, boom. And we were all joking. It was the last thing, and I like pulled them. What did I do? I racked the slide open to show an empty chamber, and then I like let the slide go forward, forgetting you're supposed to take the mag out, and then sent one down range. Stupid shit like that.
Mm. Yeah, I
the one I'm most embarrassed. I was gonna say the one I'm most embarrassed about was I actually put one out of the range. That I feel I still have like emotions about that one.
The emotion I get from the story of Tom's DQ with the Loctite in his M&P is the greatest DQ story I've ever heard. Jeff, you probably don't know this story.
I don't think so.
You would know it better than me, Robert, so you tell it. So Tommy and I were shooting a match, and he had his M&P, and it was not. He was having accuracy issues, which probably meant that Tom was using his lead loadmaster, which basically meant that every other round was a squib. I mean, thus squibnandas. And he goes and he's like, I'm gonna go and drift these sites. And so he goes over to the safety area, and he starts like drifting. He starts like doing this, but then he goes to like put Loctite in it, and the Loctite, bottle kind of like blooges all over the place. And
right.
We're just standing around like outside there, and he comes walking over with the gun in one hand, and he's like, does anybody have a rag? And I look at Tommy, I look at the gun, look at Tommy, and then he looks at the gun, and he's like, well, shit.
I mean, he's doing something completely reasonable. Like,
right?
he's pointing it at the ground, right? Like, it's not like he's not pointing it around at people.
Oh yeah, no, he was being. He's inherently
he did it safely,
safe,
but he
was
completely
safe.
broke the rule.
Exactly.
Yeah. God, the first time I heard that story on your show, I laughed so hard. God. Okay. Speaking of the M&P, Jeff, the 10mm was a mistake.
Yes. Yeah. So
you just bought the wrong 10mm.
Yeah, that's probably true. So I actually took it out after many months of not being at the range. So that today was like the first time in 4 months I've been at the range, something like that. And I was like, oh, I'm going to shoot my 10mm because reasons. That thing was miserable. Like,
why?
Let's put it this way. Owen shot it, who carries a 10mm, and he said that maybe I have a comp upside down.
Oh, God. I shot one with a comp, pointed in the correct direction, the Performance Center M&P 10. Right next to my Glock 20, bone stock, potato, generic, Ford Taurus Glock 20. And that Performance Center was a snappy motherfucker. And
Right.
the Glock is a very nice shooting 10 millimeter pistol. It's way softer shooting.
So I think that after the night match, my M&P may search its way to a new home because
Just trade
I like
it for
the
a Glock 20.
I like the feel of it. I like the trigger of it. I like that it fits in all my holsters.
Yeah.
But I
think it needs like a heavier recoil spring or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like
because
M&P, like an M&P 40 is not an extraordinarily snappy gun.
right, and because like since we were shooting the same thing, my Shadow 2 run was like 5.5 seconds. My 10 millimeter run without a draw, so I started from low ready, was 7 seconds.
Jeez.
With irons.
With irons, but I was shooting like an asshole.
So it's still 2 seconds slower shooting like an asshole?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I don't think I had a better than a 30 split with it. And like I was splitting my Shadow 2 at like nothing above an 18. So it was just unpleasant to shoot, and I think that it might get traded for a Taxport 2.
Oh, okay.
I'm not
That's
buying a
also
Glock.
reasonable.
Are they going to come out with
Glock?
a Gen 6 Glock 20?
The Glock 40 is probably my most favorite 10 millimeter handgun that I've ever shot ever. It has such a nice recoil pattern. It's a very soft shooting for a 10 millimeter. Lex, my buddy, has one, and we went out and we shot it, and I thought I was shooting 40 Smith & Wesson. I was shocked, and he was using that weird, God, what do they call that stuff? Buffalo Trace, not Buffalo Trace.
Oh, Buffalo Bore.
Buffalo Bore, yeah, and like the spicy stuff kind of thing. I don't know if it's really spicy, but
It's
I think
all
it's spicy. Yeah, and it didn't feel bad, like at all. And I was just like, you got to be kidding me here.
Yeah, the Glock 40s were actually before the Gen 5 Glock 20. The 40s were very popular among like big game hunters out west because you could put a dot on it, and it was, it was just a longer slide, more stank, more velocity, and it was pretty popular among the hunting crowd. For bear defense
That's
not for
actually
hunting.
he bought it, was because he fishes up in Alaska a lot, and from his perspective, he's like, I'd rather have all the bullets than a revolver. And I'm like, yeah, seems reasonable to me.
Yeah, no, it's I really like mine. I did. I measured some. Hato Dagu commented on the Reddit thread about my 10 millimeter. And the crimp, I don't think I mentioned how far too tight my crimp was. Jeff, had I?
I don't remember.
Well, it's supposed to be 0.423 is the diameter on the crimp.
Uh-huh.
Mine was like 0.409. So it was a lot tighter than it was supposed to be. So it probably... people were shitting on extreme bullets like, oh yeah, mine were bouncing down the barrel too. I have a feeling the case ripped part of the bullet off, and that's why it was bouncing down the barrel. So,
Well, I mean, a 10 millimeter, I mean, it headspaces off the case mouth, and so really the only thing you're doing with the crimp generally is just flattening the case out. There's an argument for bullet setback, but you don't
I don't fucking know.
usually have that for a 10
on a
millimeter.
plated bullet though,
Yeah, not
plated
really.
bullet that would do some damage
Oh, yeah, yeah.
to the bullet. Like, I mean, we're talking about minute of garbage truck accuracy here.
Right.
So-
yeah.
I mean, if I'm going to go with that versus just the bullet is fucked up. Because
Yeah.
I mean, what makes more sense, that or my powder bullet combination?
You're using a good powder, so I can't imagine that would be.
Well, it was tight group.
Oh, I thought you had you were using. Oh shit, maybe I was thinking of somebody else using. Long Shot is really good.
No, I don't own any long shot. It was the one I used for my gold dot loads was not reloader, something number 9, accurate number 9.
Oh, that's a good powder. If you can find it, that's a great powder.
Yeah. Okay. So there, we did that. Okay. Oh, we're like an hour and a half in. I'll save this. I'll save the Glock thing for the next episode because all the idiots on the Glock subreddit are hilarious. Oh my god. Anyway, Robert, thank you so much for doing the show.
Thanks for letting me come on.
Yeah, it was a pleasure and a joy to have you on once again. He is Jeff King, and he's Robert Wyatt. I'm Andy Erickson. This is Not Another Shooting Show.